Powered by Bright House Networks, home of free HD. From 10 News, Tampa Bay's news leader, this is The Morning Show.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome back to The Morning Show. I'm Allison Croft.
And I'm meteorologist Mark Collins. The sun is just about ready to come up.
And that's good, because take a look at this picture. Yes. You're not going to believe this. Do we have it? There it is. Look at that.
Whiteout conditions. That is the fog out there.
You can't see anything. Brian, our producer, was saying you could see a faint red, a blinking. I haven't been able to find it yet.
We showed this earlier in the morning, and you could actually make out the top of the SunTrust building in Tampa. It was flashing red. Now, I cannot even see that. So fog is lowering in some spots, and if you've been with us throughout the morning, we've been talking about the dense fog that's out there.
That's just incredible.
Very thick. And so as you head out the door this morning, use some caution. It's going to be thick here right on through about 9 o'clock.
So that's how long you should, if you have somewhere to go, is that better to wait until 9 o'clock?
Especially if you're boating, because the sea fog's thick out there. No one wants to have to stare at the radar scope as you do some boating. And this is the view out at Clearwater. You can see that fog sitting out there over the Gulf of Mexico. So use some caution if you are trailering the boat out to the docks to head push back, or if you're already getting ready to put those boats off the davits out in your backyard. Just wait a little bit longer before you go on out. So through 8 a.m. dense fog, that advisory will expire at 9. We'll see some sun peek through here during the afternoon. Highs today will top out about 77. We're going to keep it dry and warm today. Small risk of a few isolated showers, mainly north of the Bay Area, though. Tomorrow, that's when we'll see some rain come through during the morning and then into the afternoon. Even a clap of thunder not out of the question for your Sunday. We'll talk more about that and some cooler temperatures in my full forecast in just a bit.
All right, Mark, thank you. The Lakeland mother charged with killing her own baby will make her first appearance in court this morning. Detectives say Neha Patel left her 1-year-old child in a bathtub, and when she returned, the child was unconscious. We're told by detectives Patel did not try to perform CPR on the child or try to find help. Here's a timeline of the events from Polk detectives. Around 7:20 Thursday morning, Rashish Patel leaves for work and takes his 4-year-old daughter to preschool. Then around 10:30 in the morning, he calls his wife Neha, but he can't reach her. After searching all day, he reports her and his 1-year-old baby boy missing at 7:30. Around 2 a.m. on Friday, Neha returns home with the baby's body and admits to killing him, then threatens to kill herself. She then leaves again. Finally, after an all-out search, she's located around 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday at Tampa International Airport and taken into custody. Here is video of Neha yesterday evening being escorted from the airport into a Hillsborough sheriff's cruiser. She then arrived at the Hillsborough jail on Orient Road just before 6 o'clock. She did not comment to reporters as she was booked. 10 News reporter Bo Zimmer went out to Lakeland, where Neha Patel worked as a pharmacist at a CVS, to get some insight into who this woman is.
Well, good morning. We spoke off camera with at least one employee who is familiar with Patel. He says that she is a great employee here at CVS, that she was popular among customers, and that there were very few, if any, indications of anything going wrong in her personal life. Certainly nothing that customers would have known about. And for that reason, this morning, you can imagine her coworkers are in shock hearing this horrible news. Up all night and dealing with the murder of her 1-year-old son, Neha Patel remained emotionless and silent as officers led her to a police cruiser for transport to the Hillsborough County Jail. Investigators say the 32-year-old mother was suffering from postpartum depression when she disappeared midday Thursday from her family's upscale Lakeland home. When she returned in the middle of the night, deputies say she confessed to her husband what she'd done.
Neha comes home with a baby wrapped in a blanket. Rashish begins to ask questions about where she's been and what's going on. She tells him that she killed the baby. And she said, "And I will be dead by tomorrow."
From there, Neha disappeared again, this time heading to Tampa, where after an all-morning search, she was eventually spotted by parking attendants shortly after 1 in the airport long-term garage.
When we got to the door, we very quickly assisted her in exiting the vehicle.
Polk detectives were called to the scene, interviewing Neha for hours. They say she provided a candid confession explaining she allowed her son Ishan to drown in the bathtub because she hated him from the day he was born. She blamed her son for her state of mind and says she intended to kill herself by jumping off the airport parking garage.
You can't imagine how anyone could be in a position where they would feel so desperate that they would do something like that.
And everyone here in Polk County in disbelief over this story, including Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd, who says this whole situation has him sick. He says the only good thing tonight is that this mother can't hurt any more children because she is behind bars where she belongs. In Lakeland, Bo Zimmer, 10 News.
Neha Patel will make her first appearance at the Hillsborough County Courthouse at 8:30 this morning. She's charged with first-degree murder.
And so a lot of women have a lot of guilt if they have these type of symptoms, and so some may be reluctant to discuss it or reluctant to bring up the topic.
That's Dr. Shelley Holstrom. She's an OBGYN with USF and Tampa General Hospital. She was talking about postpartum depression. This could be the condition Neha Patel was suffering from. Now, according to Dr. Holstrom, women usually start seeing the first signs of postpartum 4 to 6 weeks after giving birth, and if not treated properly, it could last for months. In Patel's case, we're talking about a woman with a 1-year-old who authorities say wasn't taking her medication. Here are some of the symptoms that you need to look for in yourself about postpartum depression: a loss of interest in daily activities, a change in sleep and appetite, thoughts of worthlessness and lack of concentration. Now, as far as treatment goes, that includes counseling and medication. Even if women don't want to say something to their doctor, talk to your spouse and to your friends. Jury selection in a Stand Your Ground murder trial will begin on Monday. A Tampa tow truck driver is accused of killing a man after he tried to take his car back. Donald Montanez says that the shooting was self-defense.
I wanted to protect my employees and myself, but I didn't want to hurt anybody.
Montana says the victim, Glenn Rich, tried forcing his way into the tow truck, then drove at Montanez and his employees. Now, the entire case could hinge on the 911 call. Defense attorneys say it proves the decision to shoot was made in less than 3 seconds. A charge of grand theft has also been added to the case by prosecutors, but Montanez was under contract to tow cars from the area and had already told Tampa police he was in legal possession of the car. In a life-saving effort, drunk driving checkpoints and patrols are back on schedule for the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. At a DUI checkpoint in Pinellas Park last night, Sheriff Bob Gawardi announced the return of monthly checkpoints throughout the county to enforce the Sheriff's Office zero-tolerance policy when it comes to drinking and driving. As part of the new plan, wolf pack patrols of several officers will also target high-traffic areas in Pinellas once a month, on the lookout for any reckless or impaired drivers. So you need to remember to be safe tonight, especially if you're going to the night parade. The parade will start at 7 o'clock this evening on Nick Nyoko Park in Ybor. The parade will continue down 7th Avenue and floats will cruise down the strip until about 9 o'clock tonight. For more information, you can visit nightparade.com. And here's something pretty interesting. Many people think the event is called the Night Parade with an N because it happens at night, while the main Gasparilla Parade is considered the day parade. Well, it's really the Night Parade with a K because the crew of the Knights of Santiago host this event. A group of high school students from St. Pete are making history this weekend. The teens are competing in the Sperry Topsider Regatta as the youngest sailors ever.
Are all of you even old enough to drive a car?
I'm old enough.
I'm not. Together of us right now, there are 2 people who can drive cars. So
I can't even get my permit yet.
These teenagers, all from St. Pete, are the youngest sailors in the Sperry National Offshore One Design Regatta. The competition continues today and Sunday, and if these young guns win, they'll advance to the World Championships in the Virgin Islands. The Tampa Bay Rays hold their annual Fan Fest today. Parking and admission is free today at Tropicana Field. There will be all kinds of things for the kids to do, like run the bases, get their picture taken with the players, and meet the Rays' new mascot, DJ Kitty. Fan Fest begins at 10 o'clock, runs until 5 o'clock tonight. And a few lucky fans even get the chance to have a plate of Rays manager Joe Maddon's spaghetti and meatballs when he serves up his traditional Thanksmas meal. They're looking for the worst behaved dog in America. So does your pup have what it takes? We're going to talk with the people holding the nationwide competition coming up. But first, this alpha male monkey doesn't like people hanging around his enclosure. The primate is hot on the web. We're going to show you why up next.
Join us late for 10 News. You can see what you missed with Start Over, exclusively from Bright House Networks.
All right, some pretty cool video. Watch this. This monkey, alpha male, did you see that? He winds up and then he just takes off into the window because apparently he doesn't like tall guys standing around. Watch this. There he goes, swings, wham.
He was just trying to get his attention, that's all. He certainly
doesn't
got
like
it.
tall guys. He would not like you there, Mark, at all. One of the zoo workers says that the monkey does it all the time. So you can just imagine all the tall guys lining up to get their video taken, just like this guy, that monkey coming back. In just 2 days, it's reached 200,000 views.
How about that?
Crazy. That would be really scary.
It would. I'm glad there would be a piece of glass between the monkey and me.
Yes.
You know, have a monkey jump on your back.
So would you be there getting your video taken?
I wouldn't want to antagonize a poor monkey like that, right?
You don't
I'd be
think he
the type
likes
that
it?
I'd throw it a banana, say, here, let's be friends. See?
Such a nice guy.
Peace,
Mark
world peace.
Oh, but it's a pretty cool video. We're going to post it on our Facebook page. Just go to facebook.com/10news, like us, and you can check out that video. It's pretty funny. And the whole video is good because you're watching it and you're like, why is this guy standing in front of those?
And then the monkey comes flying at his head.
Exactly. So check it out on our Facebook page here in just a couple of minutes.
All right. We've got some fog flying through the air this morning. That fog very, very thick.
It's very thick. Absolutely.
Yes, and it's going to be with us here through at least 9 o'clock this morning. This is the view outside, looking out towards downtown Tampa. I promise it's there because Orange Grove Middle Magnet is just north of 275. And so we're looking off towards the south and plenty of fog out there. Another perspective out in Terra Verde from Tampa Bay Watch where the temperature is 65 degrees. You can barely make out the estuary there through the mangroves as the fog sits all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico. And out in Polk City, there you can see some trees, but all that fog kind of clouding out the picture. Definitely some fog that will be slowing you on the roadways as you head out and about. So that's making the headlines this morning. And we'll also have a warmer day than yesterday. We'll make it into the upper 70s, unlike the low 70s we had yesterday because of the clouds and the rain. Rain, it's not really going to be a factor here today. Tomorrow could be, though. Also some storms before they clear out for Sunday evening. Stationary front draped right here across the Bay Area. Light southerly winds pumping up the moisture, the humidity. And north of us is where we'll see some scattered showers roll across the northern tier of the state by later in the day. Dense fog advisory shaded in all of these counties throughout the I-4 corridor. Driving real slowly if you're headed out to some of the theme parks today. Maybe you want to wait just a little bit longer. No significant rain showing up here on the radar, just some false returns. Radar beam picking up some of the humidity in the atmosphere and bending that beam down to the ground, showing up as ground clutter. But further out to the west, here you can see where the heavier storms are heading. In fact, tornado watch boxes up for portions of eastern Texas right on through the 10 o'clock time frame our time. So today, green light for any type of storms here, not looking at any risks. Tomorrow, though, shades of yellow begin to include the Bay Area for a slight risk of thunderstorms during the early afternoon time frame. That's when a front should be marching through. Today, warm front backpedals to the north, and so north of Brooksville, we can see some of these scattered showers showing up here in green, but the heavier stuff yet to come. As we run the clocks forward into the overnight time frame, we'll stay dry, but then Sunday 10 a.m. you can see a line of rain coming through. Not a lot of rain, only less than a quarter of an inch as the front pushes on by. Maybe an isolated thunderstorm around 1-2 in the afternoon as they push south of the Bay Area. But by 5 o'clock, rain is gone. Temperatures cool for Monday into the upper 60s. So not a big drop in temperatures, but cooler than today's 78 degrees. So fog giving way to some sun and clouds. And then for tonight, we'll see low temperature around 67 in Tampa, 69 in St. Pete, 62 in Crystal River. For boaters, your winds will be south today at 10 knots with seas just 2 feet. But tomorrow, seas will be increasing as the winds turn westerly and pick up to 15 to 20. Low tide was at 6:18. Then the high tide, which will be the next significant tide, is at 11:20 tonight. So tomorrow's rain chance 30%, then dry through most of the week with comfortable temperatures in the 70s Warming up late in the week, then we could see a few isolated showers on Friday. Allison, every time I look, you've been playing with rabbits, all types of animals this morning. What have you got here?
Yes, it is the animal show today for sure on the morning show. So is your dog out of control? Does he chase the mailman, use the bathroom indoors? Does he tear up your favorite pair of shoes? Hopefully not. Now, this is some standard bad behavior, but is it enough to win the title of worst behaved dog in North America? Joining us is Glenn Hatchell. He's with Camp Bow Wow. And now, what's it going to take to win worst behaved dog? Not Heidi. She's very well behaved.
That's for sure. It will not be Heidi. We're running a national campaign on Facebook, and our fans on Facebook, just search for Camp Bow Wow. Heidi, come here.
Come on over here. We want to see your pretty face. There you go.
Can post videos of their dogs doing horrible things or having done horrible things. It could be videos, pictures, and we'll be selecting our entries through about the middle of May, and then we'll select 51 out of those. And out of those 51, then we'll select the grand champion, who will win a year's worth of services from Camp Bow Wow, our home buddies.
So you're finding the worst dog out there to make them into the best dog.
Exactly. Exactly.
What are some things that you do to change the dog's behavior?
Much like if you're going to build a house, you're not going to start by putting up the walls. You're going to start with a foundation, and it's the same with dog training. You've got to start with the foundation of really just the basic obedience of sit. And in Heidi's case, she's excited. Heidi, sit. Popped right down. The important thing of teaching the dog, though, to make them understand, are using high-value treats. And so she knows that sometimes when she sits, she's going to get a treat.
So not every time?
Not every time. That's right. Just like when you're winning the, or you're playing the slot machines, it's the same thing. You don't win every time, but at some point, you know you're going to. And it's the same idea with the dog. Get the treat sometimes, but not all the time, and they'll always expect it or hope for it.
Do you find that you also have to train the owners? Is that part of the process, too?
That's a biggest part of it, really, because a dog is going to always look for a pack leader, and if the owner is not providing that leadership, then the dog's going to try to move itself into that position. And it's really taking control of when you take your dog for a walk, you're walking your dog should not be walking you. That's one of the most important things. Keeping your dog close to you on a walk, because if a dog's walking out in front of you, they're going to want to be in the lead and challenge. So there's just some very basic things to keep control of the dog, keep that leadership there, but it comes back to calm energy. The dog's going to feed off your energy, and if we think of leaders, and I always like to use Tony Dungy as an example, regardless of what's going on, Coach Dungy is this calm, stable person, and that's exactly what dogs look for in a leader.
All right, well, if you think that your dog is pretty bad, all you have to do is upload a video of your pooch at facebook.com/campbowwow to enter the contest. Be sure to include a story about your dog's bad behavior as well. They'll be taking entries until March 18th. The grand prize will be awarded on the 31st. She's very curious. She's on TV for the second time. She's doing a great job. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you, Allison.
Good to see you. Good luck with the contest. While most schools just educate children, one Bay Area school is known for having children of its own. That's coming up in this week's Why Do They Call It That? We'll be right back. And here's what's coming up tonight on CBS and 10 News. At 8 o'clock, Person of Interest, 9 o'clock, NCI Los Angeles, at 10 o'clock, 48 Hours Mystery, and 10 News at 11. Very foggy start to your day. We'll talk with Mark Collins about that coming up in just a minute. Hillsborough High School could be considered one of the most childbearing schools in the Bay Area. 10 News reporter Grayson Comm answers the question, why do they call it that?
Why do they call it Hillsborough High School? Sure, children go to school, but schools that have children of their own? Absolutely! Hillsborough High School in Tampa's Seminole Heights has given birth to at least 10 other schools over the years. I'll explain. 4 district schools have been named to honor prominent principals and assistants from Hillsborough High School's past: Gaither High, Spoto High, Barrington Middle, and Graham Elementary. As the Korean War began, the man photographed climbing this wall, First Lieutenant Baldemaro Lopez, covered a live grenade with his body and absorbed the blast. That selfless sacrifice took his life, but saved several fellow Marines. and it earned this Hillsborough High School graduate the Medal of Honor and immortalization in the name of Lopez Elementary in Seffner.
4 other schools have set up shop in buildings like this that Hillsborough High has moved out of. Memorial Middle, Washington Junior High, Jefferson High, and this one, D.W. Waters Career Center.
And this may be the most unusual baby of Hillsborough High. It's a big baby. The University of Tampa began its big-time existence as Tiny Tampa Junior College, which held its first courses in empty chemistry labs and classrooms at Hillsborough High. This place doesn't just look like a university. Hillsborough High helped create one.
Hillsborough High School traces its roots all the way back to 1877 with something called Tampa High School.
All right, Rodney Kite-Pal, curator of history at the Tampa Bay History Center. What's the story behind the school's current name?
Hillsborough High School, you may be surprised to learn, is named for Hillsborough County. And it was originally called the Hillsborough County High School because there was only the one high school.
A simple name for such an important place, right at the roots of Tampa Bay's educational family tree. Why do they call it that? Now you know. Grayson Comm, 10 News.
Not only did Hillsborough High School create the University of Tampa, it also helped determine UT school colors. UT's colors are red, black, and gold. Red and black are the colors of Hillsborough High, and black and gold are the colors of their rival, Plant High School. Well, Brides Against Breast Cancer. You're going to see how some great deals on wedding dresses are benefiting cancer patients. But first, laid to rest, we're taking a look at the final preparations leading up to Whitney Houston's funeral.
This is The Morning Show.
The weekend is finally here. Hopefully you're having a great start to your day. I'm Allison Croft.
And it's going to be a much better day than yesterday. I'm meteorologist Mark Hollins. Now, a lot of folks are thinking, hey, it's so gloomy out there. Is it going to be another washout like yesterday? And the answer to that is no.
Good, but we still have the problems that we're talking about this morning with that fog out there. We've shown you some pictures live all throughout the morning show of how dense the fog is, so you get an idea before you go out, because maybe you'll hopefully wait a little longer because it's
just give it some time.
The visibility is very, very limited.
It's very bad, so you'll want to drive slowly out there. If you're doing some boating, hold off on that. Certainly your morning golf game, or you're going to have to push that tee time back till after 9 o'clock if you want to drive it high in the sky and see where the ball lands. Outside right now, we do see calm conditions as far as winds go, high humidity, and that is just a good recipe for the fog out there. Largo, you're at 66 degrees, Palmetto 64, and out in Plant City, it is 66 degrees as well. So as we head through the day, we're going to be warming up to about 78 degrees here. We're going to keep it dry today. Only an isolated showers in the forecast late this afternoon, but a better chance of rain tomorrow, and I'll tell you about it soon enough. Allison.
All right, Mark, thank you. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office this morning is investigating a vehicle crash involving one of their own officers. According to reports, Deputy Gary Wilson was responding to a burglary in process and had his lights and siren on when he went through the intersection of 54th Avenue and 49th Street in Lealman. Wilson made sure all traffic stopped to let him pass, but one driver didn't notice him and struck the passenger side of the police cruiser. Wilson was treated for minor injuries and released from the hospital. Also new this morning, firefighters had to put out a blaze at Raymond James Stadium this morning. Tampa police say drivers called 911 after seeing smoke coming from the scoreboard. Firefighters arrived on scene and put out the fire, which was coming from the scoreboard speakers. Authorities think that it was electrical. In just a matter of hours, the body of Whitney Houston will be laid to rest. Both fans and movie stars have been gathering in the legendary singer's hometown of Newark, New Jersey. Drew Levinson shows us how a city is paying its last respects.
Even though it was the middle of the night, Whitney Houston's fans descended on the New Hope Baptist Church. They knew it would be their last chance to say goodbye.
Wow, look at that.
Denise Dickerson was here at 3 a.m.
And she was an angel. Her voice was a gift. She was just inspiration.
Preparations are underway for Houston's very private funeral. Friday night, her daughter and mother attended a 2-hour private viewing at a local funeral home where Houston's body was reportedly laid out dressed in white.
Come on, fans.
Funeral home director Carolyn Wiggum says the family is holding up as best they can. Last night, she passed out memorial programs to fans.
Until you've lost your mother, you've lost your daughter, you can't say, I know how you feel.
Police have already set up a perimeter blocks around the church. This is as close as fans will be able to get to the funeral.
I will always love you.
Houston's godmother, Aretha Franklin, and Stevie Wonder are slated to perform at the ceremony. Houston's Bodyguard co-star Kevin Costner is expected to speak. Fans will be able to watch it all via a live camera in the church.
She is magnificent!
Amen.
Beautiful!
Houston is scheduled to be buried beside her father at a cemetery near where she grew up. Drew Levinson, CBS News, Newark, New Jersey.
Fans say even from behind the police barricades, they will hold a candlelight vigil during the funeral service. You can see the funeral in its entirety on our digital channel this afternoon. We're going to carry Houston's funeral on TV and online. To watch the funeral, if you're a Bright House customer, go to channel 631, Comcast 212, Verizon 461, and Nology 135. If only these were real, they'd be worth trillions. Italian authorities arrested 8 people on Friday who they say had some $6 trillion worth of counterfeit U.S. Treasury bonds. The fake bonds were made to look as if they were printed by the U.S. Federal Reserve in 1934. The discovery came during an investigation into an Italian mafia association. Federal agents have arrested a Moroccan man who they say wanted to become the first suicide bomber on U.S. soil. His intended target, the Capitol building. Amin al-Khalifi was arrested just blocks away in a sting operation. Officials say he thought he was meeting al-Qaeda operatives to pick up a gun and suicide vest with explosives. But the operatives were FBI agents and none of the weapons worked. Officials say Khalifi was an extremist, but they believe he was acting alone. He's been charged with attempting to use a weapon of mass destruction against U.S. property. Well, it looks like we're going to keep a little more money in our pockets this year. Congress made a big bipartisan move Friday, passing legislation that will renew a payroll cut for 160 million American workers and jobless benefits for millions more. Both measures were big items on President Obama's jobs agenda. Speaking to a crowd at Boeing factory in Washington state, the president applauded the House and Senate for putting politics aside.
This middle-class tax cut is something I proposed in my jobs bill back in September. And because you kept the pressure on Congress, because you reminded people what it means to have $40 taken out of your paycheck every week, it got done.
Obama is expected to sign the bill into law after returning to D.C. from his trip to the West Coast.
Government intervention, government regulation, government taxation. Government is crushing and destroying the American spirit and the American free enterprise system.
GOP presidential hopeful Rick Santorum still leading in the polls this morning. Santorum is campaigning hard in Michigan and surging ahead of former frontrunner Mitt Romney. Michigan is his home state. Political analysts say voters aren't sold on Romney as the nominee and are still looking for an alternative. But Romney's fighting back and trying to convince conservatives he's one of them. Now, Newt Gingrich and Ron Paul are using this break in primaries and caucuses to raise money between now and Super Tuesday next month. The super PAC supporting Gingrich is about to get another cash infusion. Billionaire Sheldon Adelson plans to give the group another $10 million. President Obama is filling his campaign war chest as well. He's on the West Coast attending a handful of fundraisers, and new figures show his campaign raised more than $29 million in January alone. New Jersey's governor has vetoed a bill allowing same-sex couples to wed in his state. The promised move by Republican Chris Christie sets up a fight with the state's Democratic-controlled legislature. Lawmakers have until the legislative session ends in January 2014 to override Christie's veto. They would need a two-thirds majority in both houses to succeed. Christie says he vetoed the bill because it should be left up to voters. New Jersey currently allows for civil unions, which Christie says he supports.
As you look at the other universities that have been cuts all the way down from 6% to maybe 35%, and ours is 60%. It is grossly unfair, and I'm very, very pleased that the Tampa Bay community won't stand for it.
It's always tough when it's a tough budget year like it has been since we got into the recession to allocate the dollars fair. But I can tell you from my personal standpoint, I'm going to make sure that it's fair. USF is a great institution. I'm going to make sure we allocate the dollars as well as I can.
That was was USF President Judy Genschaft and Governor Rick Scott both agreeing the proposed cuts to the university are extreme and unfair. 10 News will be back in Tallahassee on Monday when President Genschaft is expected to have a meeting with Senate President J.D. Alexander. Meanwhile, other senators are scrambling for solutions. The state could be facing a $2 billion budget deficit next year, and if major cuts aren't going to come from higher education, lawmakers have the difficult decision of where else to cut. Veteran Senator Mike Bennett from Bradenton spoke with investigator Noah Pransky about some possible solutions.
None of the people who wrote these letters gave us any suggestion where we might find the money at. Okay? And so it's real easy up here to say, I need the money, I need the money, I need the money. But we have huge unemployment in the state of Florida. There's no way that we can raise taxes on the people of the state of Florida in this economy. So we're trying to do the best we can.
All right, so the senator wants suggestions. So here's how you can give them to him. What do you think should be cut? Post your ideas on our 10 News Facebook page. We're going to take them back to Tallahassee on Monday. We're also going to take some of your comments coming up at the end of the show. Brides Against Breast Cancer. It's going on this morning at the Tampa West Shore Marriott, and if you're in the market for a wedding dress, you can get some great deals there today. The best part about it, the proceeds are going toward the fight against cancer. Joining me this morning is the Vice President of Brides Against Breast Cancer, Amy Polishak. Amy, thanks for joining us. Good to see you this morning. I hear there's a bridal show going on this morning.
There is, Allison. Good morning, Tampa Bay. Brides Against Breast Cancer is here at the Tampa West Shore Marriott with over 1,100 discounted gowns.
All right, so tell us about how people can come down if they're looking for a dress and how the process works today.
Absolutely. Come on down between 8 a.m. We're going to be opening here shortly, and 7 p.m. And we have between 1,000 and 1,100 gowns. We've got sizes 0 to 30, and they're discounted between 25 and 85% off the retail price.
So you can get pretty much any dress at any cost.
Absolutely. We have, again, all sizes, all styles. We've got popular styles like the Sweetheart, which is very flattering and elegant. The lace gowns, which were very popular with the royal wedding with Kate. We've got all styles and sizes here this weekend for the brides-to-be.
And this is all for the fight against breast cancer. Talk about how that process works and how you're helping out the fight.
Brides Against Breast Cancer supports any organization that provides information, education, and outreach to people impacted by cancer. It's a critical time for these individuals, so we want to provide them with the necessary services. So proceeds from the sale go directly to help people right here in Tampa Bay.
All right, Amy, thank you so much for all you're doing for the community, for the fight against breast cancer, and hope everything goes very well. It's going to be a fun day for some shoppers out there this morning.
Yes, it will. Thank you, Allison.
All right, have a great day. You have the chance to let your pet show off its artistic abilities and create a work of art. Up next, how your pet can make a completely original painting at Pause for the Arts. And we're still taking your comments for our Facebook Talker segment. What do you think should be done to balance the budget? Talking about the fight to save USF. That's coming up next. Well, if you've always wondered if your pet has some artistic abilities, you're soon going to have the chance to find out. Pause for the Arts is an event where your cat or dog gets the opportunity to make a masterpiece of their own. This morning we have Carolyn Buchanan joining us to talk about the event. Thanks for being here and bringing all this stuff.
Thank
it's good
you,
to see
Allison.
you. Okay, so how do you get your dog or your cat to paint and to make this artwork?
Well, it's really easy. We provide 4 colors for you to choose from of non-toxic paint, and we will dab the paws into the paint or put it on the tail, and as they're wagging their tail, we'll hold the canvas behind the tail, and they can walk or run across the canvas. And they have a great time doing it, and it's something for you to keep.
Yeah, very cool. We have a couple examples now. Is this who do we have here this morning?
We have Sky, and Sky is not yet 2, and she and her 3 brothers and sisters created the painting last year that's shown on the top. And Sky's prints are the red ones there.
Over on this painting right here.
Yes.
And they're really cool. It's very unique to have something like this from your animals.
It is unique, and it's something you can keep forever. And we have other things at the event that are fun to do too. We are going to have an agility course for your frisky dogs with cones, jump bars, and hoops. And we're going to have live entertainment, provided by Canterbury's own Zach Biss, who is a 15-year-old freshman, and he is part of the local band Out by 9. And during the breaks, we'll play familiar tunes such as Who Let the Dogs Out and You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog.
Very appropriate songs for the event. We have a couple of pictures from last year's event to give you an idea of what you can expect to go out. Talk about the atmosphere and what it's like being a part of this Pause for the Arts.
Well, the atmosphere is outside at Canterbury, and this year it'll be close to our Marine Science Education Center, and you'll have all the music going on, and you'll have pet vendors offering these cute bandanas, and Sky is modeling the Peace Love bandana.
It's very cute.
We'll have all sizes of those available, and even some motifs like gators and Seminoles, among other things. We will also have these Crusader Crunchies available. These are bone-shaped dog biscuits decorated with pet-friendly icing, all in a cute package just ready to go.
Oh, Sky's tired.
Yeah, she is.
Well, very great, very fun event for you to participate in. Pause for the Arts is at the Canterbury School of Florida. That's at 990 62nd Avenue Northeast in St. Pete. It's next Saturday, so you have a week to make all your plans on the 25th. The paw paintings begin at 9 o'clock in the morning, runs until 2 o'clock. It's $25 for a 16 by 20-inch painting to buy for your best friend. Sky, you did a great job this morning. Good job.
She did.
Have a great time at the event. Thanks for bringing all this.
Thank
and
you so much.
for talking with us. Good to see you.
My pleasure.
Have a great time.
I have a shirt.
All right, Mark, again, another dog out there. Can we even see you with all the fog out there? Oh, we can.
You can see me. I'm here, but behind me the fog is pretty thick, so at least I'm close to the camera there. Maybe your dog's scratching at the door. You want to go out and walk Fido. Well, no rain, so you can't blame that for not getting out there and enjoying a stroll through the neighborhood, but it is foggy as you head out the door. In fact, it smells like grandma's basement outside. It's so muggy and humid. There's enough northerners down here that probably know what I'm talking about. There's the view outside over Clearwater. You can kind of just see how the horizon blends into the Gulf of Mexico with some of the sea fog out there in the distance. And that sea fog reducing the boating down to a quarter-mile visibility. But there is some hope in sight if you're looking for some sunshine. Didn't see it yesterday, not seeing it this morning. Later this afternoon, we're going to watch for some sun to poke holes in the cloud deck, and that will warm us up to about 78, a little bit warmer than yesterday. With this front draped right across central Florida, light southerly breezes pumping up the moisture and the humidity. That is combining with the wet soils from yesterday's rain, leading to some dense fog. Rain here across Alabama. It will stay north of us. Brooksville, you may get in on some isolated shower action here later in the day. Temperatures in your parts of the area, about 65 there, Dade City 65, and 67 in Tampa. Bradenton is 64 degrees alongside St. Pete. Here are all the counties shaded in gray. Those are our dense fog advisories, which are through 9 o'clock. No rain coming out of that, just a little bit of ground clutter. Rain, though, very heavy. Storms now focused over the Houston area, back in through Louisiana. Tornado or severe thunderstorm watch box in effect for 10 o'clock our time there. But with this upper level trough ejecting towards the north, the bulk of the energy will slide across northern Florida into southern Georgia and southern Alabama here late tonight into Sunday morning. For us, we could get some thunderstorms Sunday during the day. So there is a slight chance of stronger thunderstorms. The rain chance is about 30%, and we're not going to see much rain here today. These arrows show more of a south to southwesterly wind. Here at 5 o'clock up around Citrus County, you can see a few spotty showers. Otherwise, some sunshine, clear skies work in late in the day. Clear skies here late tonight. But then fog will come back. Should not be as thick because the winds will be up out of the south. So we could see tomorrow the shades of yellow here. Slight risk for thunderstorms. But as I said, rain chance is pretty low. Warm front lifts north today. That's why it will be warmer than yesterday. Then the front comes on in. Sunday morning, 10 a.m., some rain will be around. Then on Monday, we'll be clearing out, and temperatures will be a little bit cooler in the upper 60s as we look ahead to the extended forecast. So looking ahead, what we'll see is it will cool down on Monday, and then as we head through the end of the upcoming upcoming work week, temperatures will actually get a little bit warmer. If you want to see the 7-day forecast, you can just download our iPhone app. You can get on your mobile phone or your Android. There you can check out the 7-day forecast, and you can always see it on our website at WTSP.com. Allison, you're all alone. No more animals.
I know. It's coming down to the end of the show. All the animals have left the building. Mark, thanks. If USF's budget doesn't get cut, what should then? We want to know what you think, and we're taking some of your Facebook comments, and we're going to talk about them when we come back. And here's a look at the Skyway Bridge. You can see all that fog there, making visibility very difficult. Mark says give it some time before you leave till after 9 o'clock. We'll have a wrap-up of your weather when we come back. Across Tampa Bay, very foggy. Do be careful if you head out this morning. The proposed funding cuts to the University of South Florida have definitely been big news this week right here on 10 News and all across the Bay Area. The state could be facing a $2 billion budget deficit next year, and if major cuts aren't going to come from higher education, lawmakers have the difficult decision of where else to cut. And we took a bunch of letters from viewers saying, you know, save USF. Don't take this big cut to USF. But we just heard from Senator Mike Bennett, and he said all of these letters are great, but what is the solution? You know, what can we have to cut something because they don't want to raise taxes. Sure. So he said, what can we do? So we're asking for your comments. One, we're going to talk about a few of them, but two, on Monday, we're going to take those comments up to Tallahassee and give them your suggestions on what you think should be done to fix the budget. Very hot topic here across the Bay Area, especially here in Channel 10. Hard to think how we can be competitive in the global market if they keep cutting education, especially higher tier education. John was saying that if the state wants to save money, they should stop the tax-free holidays. They cry about not having enough money, then they give up $20 million in potential tax revenue. Doesn't make any logical sense to me. That was John speaking. Bobby told us, I think it should be an overall cut in all colleges and universities. There's so much waste within the education system in the state of Florida. And a lot of you agreed the cut should come from the salaries of the senators. Stanley suggests, how about all state employees who make more than $65,000 a year get a 10% pay cut? So definitely a lot of suggestions. We've had a bunch of them on our 10 News Facebook page. Leave your comments as well, because again, on Monday, we're going to take all of those comments, all of your suggestions back to the Capitol and give them to lawmakers there. And hopefully they'll hammer something out next week. The full Senate meets, and then they have to come up with a decision with the House by March 9th. So there's still a little bit of time, but not a whole lot of wiggle room to get this, it's going to be a very touchy wait and see time period. You know, absolutely. Emotions running high. It will. And do remember that you can watch Whitney Houston's funeral on our digital channel this afternoon. We're going to carry her funeral on TV and online. To watch it, if you're a Bright House customer, go to channel 631. Comcast is 212, Verizon is 461, and Nology is 135. And if you're headed out this morning, either take it really, really easy or wait until after 9 because the fog is very thick. Fog's slowly starting to lift. Not quite as dense as very early this morning. Now that that sun is up, it's going to try to evaporate the fog. And as you can see there, pretty dense in some areas. That's the Sunshine Skyway. Looking down over the road, you can barely make it out and certainly can't see the Gulf beneath it. And over the next 7 days, the forecast for tomorrow, 30% chance of rain, showers during the morning through the afternoon, and then cooler and clear skies to get us through the upcoming work week. Hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us here on The Morning Show. Bye-bye. Thanks for spending your morning with us.